It is almost the end of August and time's going too quickly, but that also means we are almost at the end of summer. To be honest, usually I'm so happy about that because I don't like hot weather and I really love autumn, but you know what, this year I don't want time to go quickly, so I think I'm really attached to summer right now, and as soon as it's gone I'm gonna be really sad. But anyway, because the seasons are changing, I put on my comfy jumper and I thought we should talk about my favourite book to film adaptations, because it's getting to the time of year where I just want to sit inside and read a book or watch a film. There are so many books to film adaptations that maybe I enjoyed the book but didn't like the film, or maybe I enjoyed the film but I didn't like the book. You know, for example, I really enjoyed Ready Player One, the book. A lot of people didn't like that, I don't know why, but I really enjoyed it. But I hated the film. I thought it was shit. I am just gonna stick to things that I liked both of. So yeah, here are all of my recommendations. I don't know if you can tell, but I got my septum pierced yesterday. I don't really know how I feel about it yet, so let me know in the comments whether I should keep it or not, because I can just take it out. It's just a piercing, right? It'll heal. Anyway, I'm gonna have my comfort pillow if you don't mind, and we're just gonna talk about some books and some films. I'm going to start off with maybe the best book to film adaptation ever, and that is Harry Potter, of course. If I could choose one comfort thing ever, it would be Harry Potter. There are just so many memories attached to it for me and feelings. Whenever I watch the films or read the books, I just have this feeling inside me which is just content. So of course that has to be number one on my list. First of all, you don't need me to explain what Harry Potter is, you know what it is, but especially at this time of year when we're getting into the colder months, I don't know why, maybe it's the witchy vibes and like Halloween, I only really want to watch Harry Potter at this time of year. Also, I think a great thing about the books and the films is that they don't disappoint. It's so often that I've read a book and it's turned into a film or a TV program and I'm just so disappointed. There are a few things in the books that aren't in the films, which I really liked in the books, so I'm kind of upset that they weren't in the films. However, there's just so much content, it would have been too much to put into the films, I think. So it's fair enough. As a whole, I think they kind of did it perfectly. I mean, that was a very obvious book to film adaptation, but I had to mention it because how could I not? On the same line as series, two other series that I really enjoy. They're kind of guilty pleasures. They're maybe not the best films, they're maybe not the best books even, but I love them anyway. And that is Twilight and The Hunger Games. Don't judge me. Once again, I'm relying on the fact that you don't live under a rock and you know what Twilight and Hunger Games are about. I think I read them when I was a teenager, and so anything that I read in that period of time, I think I'm gonna love for the rest of my life, because there's so much nostalgia like connected to that time of my life. I'm always gonna love the things that I consumed. Fortunately, unfortunately, Twilight and Hunger Games are definitely part of that. I do recognise that as the series went on, the films definitely got worse. I don't think the books did. I think the books were pretty solid throughout, but the films maybe not so much. I can't even tell you how many times I've watched them. It is just something that I put on sometimes for in the background if I'm doing other things. I was going to include the Divergent series as well because I was obsessed with the books when I was younger. However, the movies aren't good, like at all, and they're not even so bad that they're good. I think they are just bad. Let's move on to something that I actually have with me. All of the other books I have in storage back home in England. These next books I do have with me, and that is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, The Girl Who Kept the Hornet's Nest, The Girl Who Played with Fire. Granted, I have actually only watched the film of this, and I don't even know if there's a film of these two. My dad read these when I was younger, and I just remember him saying that they were amazing. So when I was at his house, I asked him, like, can I take these with me? And I'm so glad he said yes, because these are probably some of my best books that I've ever read. I would say it's a crime thriller. It's got two main characters. The journalist is employed by this really rich man to investigate the death of one of his granddaughters. He thinks one of his family members killed the granddaughter. It's Michael Blomkvist's job to uncover what actually happened, and he employs this girl. Her name's Elizabeth. She's got some issues herself. A lot of stuff happened to her in her past, and I'm pretty sure you find out about that type of stuff in the second and third books. But she's this hacker and she's basically doing all of the illegal stuff for him. They just make such a great dream team, and there's so many tiny little details in this story that means so much. It does translate pretty well into the film. The actor who plays the journalist as well is Daniel Craig, and I really love him. I think he's a great actor. And the woman who played Lisbeth, I'm not sure what her name is, but she was fantastic and portrayed her exactly how I imagined her in the book. Let me know if these two books have adaptations to them, because I would definitely watch them. I will say trigger warning for sexual abuse, also like death, drugs, everything pretty much. It's not a light read, let me just tell you that. So that is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Along the same lines as creepy, scary, mystery, psychological thriller, I guess, is The Beach. I am really sad because my copy of The Beach I got from, I don't know if any of you know, in Paris there's this really famous shop called Shakespeare & Co. I got my version of that book from there and it was beautiful. It had such a nice front cover. It had the stamp and everything, and I lent it to a boy and he never gave it back to me. Very upset about that. I will probably never see him ever again. Anyway, the book's amazing. It's about this guy who goes traveling to Southeast Asia. He is in a hostel and the guy in the room next to him, he's going crazy. He's talking to himself. He might be drunk, he might be on drugs, he doesn't know. This neighbor, I think he slips him a map, and on this map it has the location of a secret beach, and there are loads of rumors about this beach. No one knows if it's actually real, but now this boy has the map. He recruits 2 other people to go with him, and then when they get to this beach there's actually a commune living there. So a group of people have decided to completely remove themselves from society and live on this beach, and they've made their own community. You know, it all starts off well and good. They're having fun on the beach, they're all helping each other by working. Some bad things start happening, people start to kind of go crazy. It's just incredible. And the film, guess who the main character is? It's Leonardo DiCaprio, and not just Leonardo DiCaprio, but young Leonardo DiCaprio when, you know, he's in his prime. But the way they film it is amazing. You can really get into his headspace and how kind of things start to distort. It is a little bit scary at times. The Beach is amazing. You have to read and you have to watch. Next up, a bit of an indie classic, The Perks of Being a Wallflower. It is about this young boy who, he's a bit of an outsider. He doesn't really have any friends. Then he meets the theatre kids at school and they take him under their wing, become friends with him. There's something going on like in his life as well. He's writing letters to a friend. You find out what happens there towards the end. I don't really know if there's much point to the story apart from friendship, coming of age, being like teenage, there's love, there's fights, kind of everything. But because of that, it's very relatable. I think the acting's amazing. It looks very visually beautiful. This is an autumn book for me, I don't know why. But yeah, The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Only 2 more. Ooh, coincidentally, they both have Timothy Chalamet in them. Let's go with Call Me By Your Name. Now, I know there's some controversy with, what's his face? Armie Hammer. I think he's a cannibal. Also, I think there's a bit of controversy about how old Elio is compared to Oliver. I think he's 16 or 17 and Oliver is in his early 20s, I think. But yeah, it's about this teenage boy. His dad's like a professor and this man comes over from a university in America and they become friends and eventually fall in love. It's set in the Italian countryside, so it's so beautifully shot. The colours are amazing, the music is amazing, the actors are perfect. I will never get over the scene in his study. We rip out so much of ourselves to be cured of things faster than we should, that we go bankrupt by the age of 30 and have less to offer each time we start with someone new. But to feel nothing so as not to feel anything. What a waste. That's my favourite quote I think ever from a book. I cried for days after I read this. I wasn't okay. I just think it's one of my favourite films ever. Definitely it's on my favourite shelf on Goodreads for my books, and I love Timothy Chalamet so much. And last but not least, another Timothy film. This film slash book is Little Women. Let's talk about the book first. The book is about 4 young girls, the Little Women, and each of them has such a distinct personality. Their father, I can't really remember, is he at war or is he on like a mission trip, something like that. So they just live with their mother. It's just about them growing up. It's in the 1860s in Massachusetts. Obviously everything is very much women should be at home and shouldn't have jobs. But my favourite character, and kind of the main character I guess, is Jo. She's a bit more boisterous. She doesn't like to act like a lady. She wants to be a writer. I believe Meg is the oldest one. She's played by Emma Watson, which is perfect casting I think, and Jo is played by Saoirse Ronan. Love her so much as well. Beth is an Australian actress. Eliza Scanlon. Amy March is played by Florence Pugh. Honestly, they couldn't have got it better. They kind of become friends with the boy who lives in the mansion across the field, and that is Timothy. His name is Laurie. They all grow up together, playing together, and then Laurie kind of becomes like an adopted brother type thing. When they get older, he confesses his love for Jo. That kind of throws a bit of a spanner in the works, and Greta Gerwig is the director. I love all of her films. It just gives you cozy vibes, very playful because they are children through a lot of it. And also, to give the book credit, I don't usually like classics. I find it pretty difficult to get through most of the time, but I didn't feel that with this one at all. Those are all of my book to film recommendations. I also have a lot of book to TV program recommendations, so I think I'll make a video on that too. Let me know if you have any yourself that you enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of the sun because I guarantee after today it's gone and it won't be coming back until next year. I hope you enjoy reading the books if you do, and watching the films if you do. I will see you in my next video. Bye.